Now that we have a nicely structured API project, we are going to look at how to implement a few advanced features for it. For this section, I'm going to use decorators. So as you know, Flask is very friendly to decorators. There are many decorators implemented by Flask itself, and many of the extensions that we used also rely on decorators to provide their functionality. Something that is not very known is that it's very easy for you to create your own custom decorators and add functionality to Flask or your project that way. So we are going to look at how to create decorators. This is a very simple introduction where I'm going to show you the code that you need to write to create a custom decorator. Then we are going to use this to create a few examples, and I hope that will give you ideas to create your own later on for your own projects. So let's see. We can have decorators that have no arguments and decorators that have arguments. So let's look at the left side first. These are the easier ones. So when you have a decorator that has no arguments, basically what Python does with the decorator when you decorate a function is to replace the function with the result of invoking that decorator passing the function as an argument. So anytime you decorate a function, you could switch that to this syntax after the function is defined, and you will get the same thing. Now, the way you implement a decorator is really easy, and there are a few rules that you need to remember. There's a little bit of boilerplate associated with decorators that I have here in this example printed in black. You will always repeat this. This is relying on the functools package from the Python standard library and provides the support for the decorators to work in the application. So the parts that are in red is where you insert your custom functions that make the decorator do something useful. So here you have a decorator name. This is the decorator that you will use to decorate your functions. And then inside there's a wrapped function. Inside the wrapped function we have this, and this is where the original function is invoked. So this provides an opportunity for you to do actions before the original function is called or after the original function is called. So you have the options to do one or the other or both. If this function is a route, then the result is going to be the response, which could be a string, it could be 3 values, a string, a status code, and a dictionary with headers, or it could be a response object. Either way, this result could be modified by the decorator, and then the replacement response can be returned in its place. So this is how a no argument decorator is implemented. The decorators that have arguments are a little bit more complicated. There's an additional level of indirection between the decorator and the decorated function. So here, if we look at the equivalent Python statement, here we have a decorator name with its arguments that returns a function. That function takes as argument the original function and returns a replacement function. So it's an additional level of indirection here, but essentially if you copy the black text, which is the boilerplate that you need to include in all your decorators, then you have your decorator with your arguments, and again you can do work before or after and modify the response if necessary. And anywhere here you can access the arguments that were provided with the decorator. So this is the simple introduction to decorators. Now we are going to see a few examples, and I will see you then.